What is going on, guys? Cody here. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to your comments on the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of these comments that I'm going to be reading off are from my video last week. It doesn't matter who coaches the Dallas Cowboys. And that video is looking really good now because I made that video before they hired Brian Schottenheimer. And I said it doesn't matter as long as Jerry Jones is, the owner and general manager. And now that video is just evergreen because it's the fact that this team is going to not prosper as long as Jerry Jones is holding us back. And a lot of your guys' comments say that. And so I'm going to read those off. And then there's also some comments on there that I want to push back on because some of them are, not the best. But there's also a lot of great ones, and I want to highlight those. And the video had like 40 comments on it, most comments I've ever had on a video, and I just want to react. A lot of the comments are long, so it's like I'd rather just reply to them in a video format than typing it out, I can convey my response better in video than through text. So starting off, some of these usernames, dude, I won't be able to pronounce some of them, but I'm going to try my best. This guy, I'm just going to call you Daddy-O. Jerry Jones needs to watch and enjoy. Don't be involved with the day-to-day biz. Still mad about the ice ball. Dang it. Yeah, I'm mad about any time we lose to the Packers. Oh, man, it's never a good time when we lose to the Packers. And, yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Jerry Jones. He won't push back, or he won't step back like pretty much every other owner does. It's his way or the highway. That's it. This is from Chucky Joe. That's it. Doesn't matter who coaches as long as Jerry stays on as pretend GM. And that's the thing, like, Jerry Jones is the GM, but what the hell has Will McClay done lately? It kind of seemed like he was the Cowboys GM. He helped scout all the talent and stuff like that. But the last two draft classes for the Cowboys, I have not been impressed. Like, the last, one they've really hit on was Micah Parsons. And then, because I'm not counting hitting on CeeDee Lamb, anyone who drafted CeeDee Lamb was going to get a hit, Like, the last two Cowboys draft classes, I'm not that impressed by. And so I'm starting to look at Will McClay, and it's like, he's basically been our de facto GM, and he's not getting the job done. So when's Jerry going to pull the trigger on him? I'm 61, this is from Dre Joe. I'm 61, born and raised in Dallas. The Cowboys were the only team I ever supported. Everything you said I've been saying for a while now. I truly gave up on the Cowboys about 7 years ago. This team won't win again until the Jones family is gone. And you got this dude. I think he has another comment up here talking about Jerry's won him 3 Super Bowls. But yeah, they didn't win those Super Bowls because of Jerry. Like, it was Jimmy Johnson and the trade that he orchestrated with Herschel Walker and getting all those draft picks, so he was able to get guys like Emmitt Smith and Darren Woodson and all those guys that contributed to those 90s Cowboys teams that won the Super Bowl, dude. It wasn't because of Jerry, and that's the thing that is pissing Jerry off, is that he didn't get any credit for it. It was all Jimmy Johnson, because Jerry's a fucking egomaniac, dude. I am living proof of America's team. I was about 9 years old in late 1978 when the Cowboys became my team. I've seen this team go through everything a franchise can go through. I've been in their corner every step, and I will stay there no matter what. I was born in Minnesota. You want to talk about frustration? Talk to a Vikings fan. Trust me, I know about that. I got a good buddy that's a Vikings fan. They started in 1961 in their glory days. They went 0-4 in the Super Bowl and haven't been back since 1976. Yet today their fans shout, "Skull, skull." They don't give up. Why should we Cowboys fans ever give up on our America's team? Yes, things are at a low point now. This is the time where they need us the most. They are family, and us sticking by, and we stick by and with them always. This team is a disaster. Needs a complete rebuild and modernization. I've seen them in this shape before, but things did turn around the biggest way. It was done with a man who worked with Jerry. So if it was done before, it can be done again. And even if they are a shell what they once were, they still play this game. So chin up and keep fighting no matter what. So this is one comment I really want to respond to. And yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, we're not the Browns, we're not the Jaguars or the Panthers or, teams that just absolutely suck and have never had like any success. Yeah, we don't have it the worst, but it's more of the thing where it's like, man, we could be better, dude. Like, we could be so much better. Like, the Cowboys, if they had someone competent running them, they would have at least been to an NFC championship. If we didn't hire, puppets as head coaches, I feel like the Cowboys would be way, and that's not saying they're not successful. I mean, before this past season, three straight 12-5 seasons. I mean, that's nothing to, turn your nose at. It's not that I'm like ungrateful for the Cowboys. Like, I mean, hell, look at all this stuff. I love the Cowboys. They're my favorite team. They've been my favorite team for 15 years. I haven't been watching them since the 70s like you have. I've been watching them since early 2000 or mid 2000s. It's just the fact that we could be so much better and we refuse to be better. That's the thing that just eats at me. We're all broken. Man, we're all done with Jerry's BS. And watching the Eagles and Washington do their thing this year is just a slap in the face. Dak making $60 million a year makes it obvious as hell the Cowboys will be bad for years. Us fans just need to stop supporting financially, and the only way we'll have control. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And that's the thing that sucks about the NFL, where you have it where, opposing teams can sell out your stadium. Like, the stadium could be full of 49ers fans, but all that money's going to Jerry Jones. Yeah, and it's definitely like, look at Washington. Like, look at how bad their ownership was with Dan Snyder, and now it's way better, dude. Like, it's year 2 of having, what's his name, Josh Harris and Magic Johnson as the owners, and they're in it. They just lost. I'm recording this on Sunday night after the championship games. But yeah, they had, an owner that stopped their team from being successful, and now look at them. Now they have a hands-off owner that's letting the football people do their thing, And, I mean, Dak making $60 million a year. I mean, every quarterback gets paid a ridiculous amount. Do I wish Dak would take a more team-friendly contract? You bet your ass I do. But the thing is, the Cowboys ain't going to spend that money in free agency anyway, because they never do. So, hell, I really don't care about Dak making this much money, because the Cowboys could have all the money in the world available in cap space, and Jerry won't spend any of it for some reason. He told it the way it is. It's a culture of comfort thanks to Jerry Jones. It's been 30 years of this. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And some of the things I've read is that the players kind of hate that culture, though, because, like, I've heard I think they don't play for the Cowboys anymore. I think they were like former Cowboys, where they're like, oh man, it feels like a freaking zoo in there. You have like fans coming in and doing tours. But then there's also some people that love it because it gets them more money for like endorsements and sponsorships and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the thing with the Cowboys. It's like you have this country club mindset. Some people are content with it, and some people want to actually, be a football player, and I think those are the guys that end up leaving and going to other teams. I mean, hell, look at how many people left the Cowboys last year to go to the Commanders when Dan Quinn took that job. And, I mean, now look at how successful they were this year. I mean, we had talent to go far in the playoffs. I think that was proof of it, and we just couldn't do it, dude. Should have never got rid of Jimmy. Cowboys fan since '89. This was the first year I didn't watch one game. I personally boycotted the team. That's where I think I'm going to be this upcoming season, dude, 2025. I probably will watch them because it's, I want to talk about the games on my channel. We do the Trainwreck podcast, and I want to talk about that as well on the podcast because we talk about all the NFL, so I try to pay attention. But I'll be rooting for the Cowboys to lose every freaking game, and I'm trying to decide what team I'll throw my support behind just for 1 year. I think it might be Baker Mayfield and the Bucks, dude. They look like they're going to be a lot of fun, but they also just lost their offensive coordinator, so they could suck next year. You're absolutely right. Jerry Jones is such a bad owner. This team sucks under his direction. My sons can attest to the fact I've been saying for 10 years or more things will never change for the Cowboys until Jera is no longer involved, and possibly Steven too. Not possibly Steven. Steven cannot be involved. Steven's worse than Jerry, I think. Apparently, it was Steven's idea for them to hire Brian Schottenheimer. The only good thing Steven's ever done was made sure that we drafted Zach Martin over Johnny Manziel. And that, oh my God, the day Steven takes over as owner of the Dallas Cowboys will be the darkest day in Cowboys history. You think it's bad now, it can get worse. And your comment, sorry, I haven't been reading the names. James, yeah, your comment about your sons being able to attest to it. I can attest to it with my grandpa and my step grandpa. They're both Cowboys fans, and they basically say the same things you say. Quit buying anything affiliated with the Cowboys. I'm not. That's the thing, like, there's a comment I'll get to, actually, but a lot of stuff I have that's Cowboy stuff is, like, Christmas and birthday gifts. Like, people are like, what do you gotta buy him, and they just like, oh, he likes the Cowboys, he likes wrestling, get him something involved with that. This guy. This is the guy I wanted to get to. Quit crying, you won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s and 2 in the 70s. I wasn't fucking born yet, dude. So I don't give a fuck about those Super Bowls. Yeah, I don't give a fuck that the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s and 2 in the 70s. Yes, it's cool that we have that on our resume, that we're 5-time Super Bowl champions. But guess what? I haven't got to experience any of them. So I'm going to bitch about us not winning a Super Bowl recently because I haven't got to experience the ride of having my team go through the regular season, have a good playoff run, and then get to that big game, dude. And you know what? No Cowboys fan in the last 30 years has gotten to experience that. We now have the longest drought of a championship game appearance in the NFC. The next team that's closest to us, I saw it in a comment down below, I think it was the Chicago Bears, which I think their last NFC championship game appearance was like 2010. That's like a 14-year difference, dude. So yeah, I'm going to bitch about them not being good enough to get to the Super Bowl because I haven't got to experience it. That's such a fucking dumbass comment. I've been a fan since Super Bowl V. 1971, and mediocrity is an accurate characterization of the management, as is greed. He's like an older version of Dan Snyder, former, I ain't saying that, YouTube, you ain't gonna get me on this one, former Commanders owner. An absolute disaster, got lucky with Johnson as head coach, but it's been a slow demise since, worst I've ever seen, and I've seen it all regarding the Cowboys. And the thing is, think about, like, say Jerry Jones, he still buys the Cowboys in 1989, he still gets absolutely loaded and all that. But what if Jerry Jones never hired Jimmy Johnson as head coach? What if they were never friends from playing together at Arkansas and all that? Think about what Jerry Jones' legacy would look like now. He wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, because I doubt they win a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson being the head coach. If he never hired Jimmy, Jerry Jones' legacy is completely different. He'd probably be regarded as a terrible owner and all that. Throughout his whole tenure, whereas early 90s, the Cowboys have that going for them. They can hang their hat on that early 90s run. But what if that run never happened? Think about how different Jerry Jones' legacy would be. Like I said, he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I don't even watch them anymore. Still a fan and want the best for them, but too many decisions. I have some jerseys for sale. I don't know if you were trying to sell me some jerseys, dude, but yeah, I get you. After all that time as a fan and you still believe that, man, that's your own fault for being stupid and naive. Suck my fucking dick. I'm glad you're finally seeing it. As long as the Jones own it, it will always be what you and we had for the last 3 decades. That's 30 years. Really bad aim. So this is one of the comments I wanted to respond to. I have to say, you're part of the problem. Look at all the revenue you gave the Jones family on your wall behind you. That shirt. Now you don't need to get rid of them. Just quit buying anything that's branded with the team name or logo. Definitely stop looking at news articles regarding them, and by all means stop going to their games and watching them pick a new team and get plugged into the fan base. So I already replied to this in text form, and I said it earlier in the video. Like I said, all this stuff, dude, gifts. All this stuff behind me is gifts. I'm not gonna turn down people buying me, gifts. I mean, I'm talking about the Cowboy stuff. These WWE posters, I bought these. But yeah, the Cowboy stuff's they're gifts, dude. So I'm not gonna, tell people like, oh, don't get me anything Cowboys. Um, as for going to games, I haven't been to a Cowboys game in 4 years. Last time I went was 2020. It was a game against the Arizona Cardinals. It was the game after Dak Prescott broke his ankle. Yeah, that was the last Cowboys game I've been to. I am going to Dallas in May to go see Post Malone at the Cowboys Stadium, but I mean, heck, I already had those tickets bought before all this happened, so I ain't canceling my trip to Dallas, and I will probably go to the Star because my Airbnb that I'm staying at is right around the corner from it. As long as Jerry Jones owns the team, they will never be in a Super Bowl because the NFL is no longer the NFL, is now the corporate NFL, and they had to pay Dak to keep his mouth shut. I don't know what you're getting at with this comment, Glenn. If you're trying to say that the NFL is like fake and they had to pay Dak to keep that doesn't make any sense. Like why they would pay him to keep his mouth shut. Like I don't get what your comment is. Like the NFL being corporate. Like it makes it to me. It made it sound like you were saying this is like WWE, which, dude, people, if you're watching, the NFL is not like WWE. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Just because one dude said it on a podcast, said he got handed a script, I think it was Arian Foster, that does not mean it's true. The NFL is not fake. You know how many dudes play in the NFL? It's like what, 3,000 people. You got 53 on the roster, 10 on the practice squad. So let's do some math right here. So 63 times 32, that's, 2,016 players. You think you know how hard that would be to get all these dudes like sworn to secrecy and stuff like that? And that's not even including all the coaches and front office people and marketing people and all those guys. Like, yeah, dude, the NFL is not fake. Glenn, I don't know if that's what you're getting at. Comment in the comment section down below on this if that's not what you're trying to say, but that's how I interpret it. Mike B, you lost me when you said last year Dallas had a shot. Really? Yeah, dude, they were the 2 seed. They were the 2 seed. It was Dak Prescott's best year of his career, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. They were playing the 7th seed, Green Bay Packers. At that point, no 2 seed had ever lost to the 7th seed. So, yes, I had a lot of faith in them that they could at least get to the second round of the playoffs, and then at that point, it's anyone's ball game. They probably would have faced, who would they face? Like, Tampa, probably? Either Tampa or the Rams. So, yeah, like, I had faith in them last year, and then ever since that Green Bay game, this franchise has been broken, dude. I replied to this one. I'll show my comment. Brandon Carr, that name just sent shivers down my spine. Oh my god, that dude sucks so fucking bad. I don't know if that was a Steven move. It might have been. I was like 11 or 12 whenever we signed Brandon Carr. So I don't remember those days too well. I'll have to do some research on that. Everything went to crap after Jimmy Johnson left. And I know they won another Super Bowl under Switzer, but it was still Jimmy's team. They haven't had any good coaches since, and from what I hear, Jerry was the reason Jimmy left. Jerry was the reason Jimmy left. Well, it wasn't even Jimmy left. Jimmy got fired. Yeah, they got in a big argument. Jerry said anyone can coach this team, so he fired Jimmy Johnson, and Jerry didn't like the way that Jimmy would talk about him in the press and stuff like that. It was all ego by Jerry Jones. Yeah, Jerry is the exact reason why Jimmy Johnson was not the head coach of the Cowboys for like 15 years. But guys, that's the video. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. thank you guys for leaving all those comments on that video. Like I said, I wanted to respond to most of them, and I figured video format would be way better than just trying to type out replies. This way I can get my tone across better. I can use the words that I can that I know how to say but don't know how to spell. Yeah, dude, it's way easier just to do this in video format. So thank you guys. That video did way better than I thought it was going to do. At this point, it's like at 1,700 views. And with how many people are mad at the Cowboys, I expected that video to keep doing good. And I hope that this video does good. So, like the video, comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Check out the Trainwreck podcast. Drew's going to be so pissed that the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. So we'll be talking about that. I got some other topics we're going to talk about. We're going to predict the Royal Rumble. I'm also going to have a separate video on my channel later in the week doing my Royal Rumble predictions. So stay tuned for that, guys. Hope you have a great day.